Good day, SpeedGaming fans. I'm Kachuri, and welcome to today's winner semifinals match between podlakboys and JupiterClimb. Uh, and of course, we're playing the Castlevania Aria Randomizer, so I probably mentioned that earlier. Our runners will have to go through the castle to find 3 books and 3 souls to go with those books to basically become Dracula. We are in the final 3. The loser of this game goes to face Fuse in the losers finals, and then we'll just have the finals, which we could still have a bracket reset. So there's still up to 4 games left of this RSR randomizer, and we're off. All right, let's see here. We have Waiter Skeleton as our starting soul, which is actually one of the new changes. So we're using a new randomizer program than we did back in the 2020 RSR tournament. So now we have a random starting item of any of the bullet souls. We got some early money. Doesn't look like we're going to go with that. Some grapes. Healing is always nice. Okay, so we're taking an early save here. Going to go check the waterway. You take a save there because it gives you the ability to put your console to sleep, which is kind of like a soft reset. And basically, you can just reload the game at the start of any room. So there's some very long rooms in the game that, you check the end for whatever items at the dead end, and then you get out of there. Padola ends up gaining a giant armor soul there. Looks like if Pod wants to go ahead and get a nice little strength boost, they can equip that and use the Guardian Soul button for that. So as you see here, this is a very long room. Can't really do much here, but there is one item in logic at the very end of it, which is the whip sword. So as you see there, Jupiter goes to sleep and now is back on the opposite side of the room without having to backtrack. Padola does the same. So the next thing we're going to be doing is find the first boss here in about a minute or so, the Creaking Skull. Should be a nice quick boss fight. I don't know how much damage the Waiter Skeleton Soul is going to do on them, but it'd be kind of cool to see. Doesn't look like any of our runners are going to be equipping the skeleton as well. We do get the whip sword equipped though. Ooh, Jupiter takes a big hit there. And it looks like Creaking Skull also does 20 damage. And it turns him around! I've actually never seen that happen. It's actually pretty funny. Podola using some unintended tech there, I think. And all we're finding is money right now. We have another long waterway check here. And at the end of this, we are going to find ourselves an ability soul, Malphas. This had to have been progression, because this was the last check there was. So could have been Black Panther, could have been Flying Armor, but it ended up being Malphas, which helps us out because we need Malphas at the end of this climb here. Because in order to cross this gap, you need something to augment your jump. JupiterClimb also finds the armor soul. And we also find Lilith. So the souls will always be in the candles, but one of the new changes to the new randomizer is the books will also tell you which enemies will drop the soul. So you can now find the candles or farm the enemy. Jupiter has decided to go to the Flowing Gardens with that Malphas. Checks a few things here. And we have Red Book already, but we do need either Hippogriff or Giant Bat to get up there. We find our first decent piece of armor, the Ninja Suit. I unfortunately did not see what JupiterClimb found. Alright, and we also got ourselves an accessory, the Crimson Cloak. So, Padola gained some decent defense right now, as Jupiter is going to make its way into the Flowing Garden little labyrinth. A whole bunch of random rooms that seem like they're not connected to the castle. And Jupiter finds a silk robe. Or in this, I think actually silk robe's an armor, so that's going to help increase the intelligence. And find rehab sword. That's a decent weapon upgrade. We're now up to 60 damage, 60 attack on Jupiter. While Padola is still using the starting knife. Got one last room here in Flowing Gardens. And we'll see if Jupiter decides to continue on into Clock Tower. We find another ability soul. This time it's Gravekeeper. Not a very important ability soul. Will help out in combat. Then some people do backdash cancels as well as a form of movement. Looks like we found ourselves another bullet soul as well. This time it's Needles. It's a fun one. And I think JupiterClimb is going to go ahead and leave Flowing Gardens. Going to take a quick safety save first. Can't blame them. We got a cloth tunic that is bat locked, so we're not going to be grabbing that. And Padola is to won our first hard reset points. There's 2 checks down here. If they're both not too good, it's likely that Padola is going to hard reset. First we find Cream Soda. JupiterClimb also found a handgun. Could possibly use that during one of the final boss fights to make things easier, if not a much longer boss fight, and Jupiter does go into the Clock Tower. So one of the neat things about this randomizer is this area of the game is basically the halfway point. It's right in the middle of the game. Ooh. Yeah, that Demon Lord's pretty good, especially with that intelligence boost. We're still too low of a level to efficiently use it. So, but that's going to do a lot of damage to most of the enemies coming up. Plus, since it was in a candle, it could be our Rid book too. Right, Jupiter is going in and finding more fake teaks. Decent armor upgrade, and Padola is now going to be walking to the chapel. As you see here in the Clock Tower, it is a bunch of big enemies and spikes and hard platforming. So doing this at level 3 hurts. But those Valkyries do give decent XP, so we're going to go ahead and swack that one. And we find an ability soul right next to this lightning doll. This time it is another Gravekeeper. The 2 Gravekeepers basically right next to each other. Jupiter is probably not too happy about that. Padola gets some milk to make your bones strong. Okay, that was kind of awkward. And Jupiter's doing a level 4 death fight. Okay. So, this is going to be an interesting one. While Padola found Sherman's Ring to increase his luck, possibly get more drops. Jupiter is doing a very difficult low-level boss. However, the EXP payout is going to be massive on this one, though. First form of Death down, you destroyed the stick. Now Death shows he has an even bigger stick. Alright, Padola is going to go ahead and check the other upper part of Chapel to find a bullet canister with Legion. Oh, Legion's so good too. So many great late game souls early on. Ooh, Jupiter takes a nasty hit from death. Another nasty hit from death. Jupiter has to be very careful because Jupiter is getting very close to death. Death does a little dash there. And Jupiter gets the kill. And Death drops Nemesis. And a Dead Crusader. That's a decent... Oh my god. Did you just hard reset after... Oh. So... Jupiter decides to hard reset after checking all the clock tower. Lost all that experience. I'm not sure why you give up that experience. Yeah, it took you some time to get that check done, but it happens. So advantage kind of goes back to Podola here. Finds Mach Punch. And let's move through. While this was going on, Podola did kill this second vanilla boss in the game, Manticore. And a combat knife. Alright. So Jupiter is now making his way over to where Podola is, basically. Podola is going to hold off on doing study now. Let's see what Podola decides to do with the flying armor. We can make our way to dance hall or living quarters. Plus Podola can... death as well. Ooh, double bullet souls. We get one, which is Skula. Well, now we can have we can go underwater now. And a wager skeleton. Okay. So Podola is going to check that I'm above hammer to find another sword. The Gladius. So what's the play now? So it doesn't look like we're going back to the study to unlock hammer. So we're moving right. This tells me this is 1 of 3 possibilities now. We're not doing the reservoir yet. And it's dance hall. Okay. This could just be a check of this one item here, which is the skull necklace. But you go this way if you're going to the dance hall, and Podola does not want that skull necklace. Sirens drop Mimic, which is actually a decent soul. Can easily start accrue some money that way. And we're now in the dance hall. Normally the 4th area of the game. Podolak has skipped basically areas 1, went through area 1 and 2 and skipped 3 to go to 4 now. Alright, looks like we're checking upper dance hall first. Find a nice high mind up. Going to try and save all of them for the late game bosses. Now it looks like we find ourselves a spear. Or, nope, that's the bamboo sword. And it looks like Jupiter did not want to keep that. I think Jupiter reset from there. We do find another soul canister. An ability soul. Hippogriff! Alright, we have access to the top floor now. And we have access to that red book. Oh man, we're also finding a rare ring. Kind of like a shaman's ring. But for items. JupiterClimb's now going to the chapel. Got a mill in the main dance hall. We're going to check the side area of the basement of the dance hall now. We can get enough mana for another Demon Lord blast here. Help out greatly in this room. Wasn't able to follow it. Still worked out though. Got 2 enemies with it. This is another room you're going to sleep out of. And it's just a battle axe. Jupiter is now going to fight the Manticore boss. And that was a fast one. Yeah, it looks like Jupiter used Legion, basically one-shot that boss. Legion being the soul of one of the, late game bosses, going to do a ton of damage. And, oh, Padola just found Black Panther. It's time to go fast. Yep. Until JupiterClimb goes into Dance Hall, Padola is going to have the speed advantage now. Going to do a nice quick fight against Big Golem here. Oh, and he gets a tear of blood as well. Great accessory. Yeah, no, if you have Hippogriff and Black Panther, you're going too fast to have great control. And if you find the Yellow Soul Iron Golem top of that, you just, dink your way through all the enemies. That's like the noise it makes, like dink, 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 dink. Alright, so we're going to this warp zone. Where are we going for this warp zone? I was thinking about doing study to get hammer, but decided against it. So we're back to the main hall. Is this going to be waterway now? Are we going to speed our way through? Nope. You're now going faster than your own attack. Slow down. Nope, this is SpeedGaming. You don't slow down. Alright. Flying up through this room now. Nope, we're going to get the rib book first. But this is going to give us 1/3 of the information we need to know. But we're not going to know what that information is yet. But for now, we know that's the thing. JupiterClimb going ahead and going into the waterway. While Podolak is in the inner living quarters. He's going to grab some curry for his troubles. We have another warp zone here. JupiterClimb says no to the armor. And Podolak is now on their way to face the Headhunter. While that goes on, Jupiter finds the army jacket, realizes it's not as good, leaves there, and we're into another giant room with Podolak that once we get to the top, we're going to sleep our way out of it. And we find some gym clothes, and ooh, a super potion. Jupiter is now making their way to the main lobby of the reservoir, while Podolak is facing a Headhunter, a 3-phase boss fight. Headhunter is a monster that changes its heads, and depending on what head it has different attacks and abilities and hit points and stuff like that. So this first hit just stabs. Second hit will cast magic, and the third hit has a very long tongue, and also poisons you if it spits acid on you. JupiterClimb is in the main lobby of Reservoir. From here, you can basically go to one of 3 areas in the bottom half of the castle. This Podolak makes it to the third head. Ooh, JupiterClimb found Archdemon. Those who watched Fuse versus Radzo saw how useful that Archdemon was. Podolak is getting low on health. Has a super potion. I know doesn't want to use it. Can take no more hits. So we are going to use a regular potion instead. Okay. Did not see that be picked up. Podolak wishes they had a better weapon for this fight. Almost has enough magic to fire off another Demon Lord. But it should, yep, there it is. Headhunter's down. We're going to check a few things. Ooh, giant skulls. Okay. It looks like Jupiter has decided that we're going to go to the arena. And finds an ability soul down here. This ability soul being Kicker Skeleton. Ooh, we got another ability soul. And some potato pancakes. Oh, there's our giant bat. That giant bat's going to be useful in the arena, actually, because there's a skip we can do with it. And another canister and giant worm. So Patola is back in Dansar because there's just one location that you either need slide or to go through the other way to get, and it's for the second book. Now we have 2 books. We have Red Minotaur and Buer, which we don't have either one yet. Okay. Patola, do you have your... Oh, you have your giant bat. Okay. Makes sense. So you're going to go and get that warp zone. Now we know we need to find Red Minotaur and Buer. And of course, we also had where, in parentheses, what monster actually drops those souls if you don't want to try and find the canister. So what's the play now? Looks like the play is study. First off, we got one last check up here in the chapel. These gargoylers you give... Oh, we have another copy of the Red Book. We don't need that copy of the Red Book. One of the new changes, we now have multiple copies of those books out there. And it feels bad when you see a book, you're like, oh yeah, a book! And then it's like, oh, I have that one. Alright, so Jupiter's about ready to get the Black Panther. And Podolak is now making their way through the study. Nope, we don't need no rotten meat. Ooh, we found a greatsword though. tests it out, decides it's against it. Oh, that's spoiled milk. JupiterClimb's going to go ahead and grab the hippogriff. Now, JupiterClimb has the can fly. We have Giant's Bat, so we had to get that. We could have used Giant Bat to get it, and it's just another copy of Skoola. A couple more checks left here in Study. Then we have a boss, and we unlock ourselves Hammer. Another boost. So Manticore. Oh yeah, now we have a dash attack. So basically with dash attacks, you just turn to a giant monster, you charge through your enemies, and you just do a lot of damage. There's our Red Minotaur. All right. So JupiterClimb has Black Panther. Now can get back to being speedy. Red Minotaur, you can either farm the enemy, or you have to beat the giant armor boss, the vanilla third boss of the game. So we are now 1 of 3 souls down. Possibly 2. We still don't know what the yellow soul is. And Podolak is making their way out of Study. We'll probably take a trip to the shop to see if we have our Cleave Solas weapon in there. And then Podolak still has Flowing Gardens, Clock Tower, top floor, and all the waterlock checks. And we do have the Cleave Solas and also the Final Sword in there, and Death's Robe, and the Rune's Ring. Oh my goodness, this is the most loaded shop I think I've ever seen. High potions and super potions and mana prisms. Why buy all the... I guess if you find Flesh Golem, you can eat the rotten stuff. Alright, where are we going? Top floor? Top floor. Okay. Usually top floor can then be combined with Clock Tower, so all the checks that Jupiter did and Podolak can do backwards. This is technically one of the final areas in the game. In fact, if you want the bad ending, this is the final area of the game. Ooh, gold plate. And JupiterClimb's also doing the top floor checks here. Oh, I do not know what Podolak found in that room, but Jupiter will hopefully show us it. Jupiter shows us that's only an iron plate. Okay. And the Mysteliatin, I think that's actually a much better weapon. Well, we're gonna have to use some items here. Activate the warp. Okay, looks like we're gonna go for a heal, then do the checks Jupiter is doing now. Jupiter's going first to do his healing. Ooh, nice high potion there. And underneath the grand boss fight is a whip knuckle. And the top left here is a warhammer, and there's an iron golem and something behind the iron golem down here, which is a castle map. Now we can find our way through a section of the map. Now, where's Jupiter's going? Top floor is not cleared out. Looks like we're now going to go ahead and do the arena. Ooh, Satan's Ring. Probably one of the second or third best accessories you can have. Jupiter's going to save that check on the left so he can scout it out. Save first in case you just want to save scum it. Podolak is now going to have a death fight here. And we find Bale. Again, that could be our yellow soul. There's also a spear there. Jupiter's not going to be going for that spear. And then this long hallway, we also find Buer. Oh! Okay, so Jupiter now found the second of our required souls. So we gotta go all the way to the arena to find that one. Or farm the enemy. Oh my goodness, doing about 600 damage a charge there with main core. This death fight is going to go by a lot easier than Jupiter's did. So now we're in the arena challenges. So there's 3 challenges here. First off is knock this wrecking ball around. You saw Podolak do on their side. And ooh, you get a free Demon's Mail for that. Well, that's a nice upgrade. Second challenge is we can't do. Jupiter can't do. Podolak can with Giant Bat. Third challenge, you can actually do a skip in that room with Giant Bat, but JupiterClimb is going to go ahead and fight Balor. Or Big Punchy Dude. However you want to call him. 2 eyes, this left eye here, you hit while the arms are trying to punch you. After you do enough damage to this eye, he switches eyes and starts shooting fire lasers at you. Podolak has finished off death. Gets the Nemesis. And I did not see what soul that was. I don't remember what that was from Jupiter's side. Jupiter seemed to not want it. Which could be funny if that is the soul that's required. Oh, yep, you got ability soul, my dude. So yeah, Jupiter's now on the fire eye thing. Gets the kill. Gets Blue Crow and an ability soul, Skeleton Blaze. Now we have Slide. So if Jupiter wants to do the second challenge, he can. But first, we're going to play some DDR. Oh, it looks like we had a misinput there. Podolak is going to go ahead and do the lower parts of the clock tower that we did not get from Jupiter's side. Ooh, we find book 3. We have all 3 books. Arc Demon. Oh my goodness. We so JupiterClimb is 2 souls from 2 souls there. Needs that red mentor from Study for Go mode. Podolak needs to get to the arena and the reservoir to get their 2 souls. We're getting down to the wire. Doing DDR gets you a strawberry. Podolak found the fire sword. Jupiter's going to save. Now we're in the worst area of the game, and Jupiter gets there quickly and finds death. Yeah, but Podolak is getting very close to go mode. Just needs to get down to the reservoir in the arena. Jupiter, on the other hand, may hold off from doing study until they find Houdini. And we'll probably do study like backwards. So Podolak has until JupiterClimb decides to do study backwards. I think that was the skeleton key in that room. So JupiterClimb looks like is going to go ahead and do Catacombs. We'll get the Galamoth Soul, which allows us to go into a special room in living quarters that is time locked. So Podolak is almost done. Flowing Gardens can turn this into a reservoir check. We'll get Arc Demon. We'll see when they decide to get over to the arena for viewer. Or could actually, Rippers are in that area too. Podolak can choose to instead fight Rippers for their go mode. Jupiter trying to use Death against Legion. We're going to get some new checks here, though. A second copy of Black Panther. Yeah, we're doing all the right side checks here of the reservoir. You go ahead and quickly exit this room and re-enter it real fast. See, there's a sword and there's a mind up. We're not going to grab either of them. Jupiter is now down to the core of Legion, which means we will get the soul here. I did not see what that soul was, unfortunately. So these are the Rippers that will get you the one soul. Forgot what it was. My bad. Looks like there's a sword here, a katana. A couple more checks here in Catacombs. Oh, armor of fire, okay. And we get more curry, and so the right side of the reservoir is going to be done here after we grab the ancient Common Rider belt. And it looks like JupiterClimb is going to be making their way, hopefully to do reverse study here. Gotta make it through to the forbidden area. There's a blue soul here though, Shadow Knights. And the sword, we see the Kamen Rider bell again now on Jupiter's side, and we get the high mind up. And another castle map. Alright. I don't think we have Udini though, so we can't go into the forbidden area. No, we get another Rush Shoal though. Now it looks like JupiterClimb is now going to go ahead and do the living quarters. This is about the last area Jupiter has left, aside from right side reservoir and study. So the number of areas Podolak has is arena, the main part of the reservoir, and catacombs, which we know he needs to get to arena. I think this is the path to go underwater here. Jupiter, I don't know if Jupiter went ahead and grabbed the red book. I think he did. But he's all he needs is Red Minotaur, which is behind the vanilla third boss Iron Armor. Oh my goodness, Jupiter is just tearing up Headhunter. That was a quick kill with Curly. Alright, going to the time-locked area now with Jupiter. Ooh, we get Houdini. Oh, there's the Houdini, and we also got a Rune Ring, which is probably the best accessory there is. It gives you so much more magic point recovery. It's insane. Alright, there's Archdemon. Podolak just now needs to get to the arena. Or kill some Rippers for Bior. But it looks like we're going to go over to the waterfall area first. Alright, so that's book 2. So Jupiter knows, hey, I got that soul already. Awesome. And is now going to go ahead and do the dance hall. Book 3 is actually in Clock Tower, so Jupiter needs to get back to Clock Tower to get that book, but he knows when that will be. Again, a second copy of that book could still be in the Forbidden area. Alright, looks like we are going to the arena first, which is good news for Podolak. Gets Kicker Skeleton. Gotta be careful in health, though. Oh, JupiterClimb did go into, is going to do, reverse study. If the second copy of school is now going to go ahead and unlock Hammer. We'll also get the Red Minotaur Soul, which we know is required today. So I don't think Podolak bought a Rune Ring yet. We did see there was one in the store. That Rune Ring is going to be immensely helpful. JupiterClimb will probably do some Red Minotaur abuse during the final fights. If given a chance. Alright. Nope. Podolak got sucked by. Looks like Jupiter is running back through. Decides to not check the rest of the study or the rest of Forbidden area. But Podolak is in go mode. Does Jupiter also know he's in go? I didn't think he grabbed the book, did he? I don't remember him having the third book. Is running straight to Graham. So the grand fight acts just like Dracula. He teleports all around the place. And man, giving Jupiter some good main core patterns. After you do enough damage, he teleports to the center where he just spins around the fireball. So you go ahead and activate, you switch over to your... Oh, he's playing the guessing game. Okay, JupiterClimb is trying to do 2/3 go mode. So basically what that means, JupiterClimb is going to see what Graham says after you finish his first form. Graham tells you if you are right or wrong off this. And so JupiterClimb got the bad news one. Alright, so it looks like Podolak is not getting the Cleave Solias. JupiterClimb is going to go ahead and do the rest of Forbidden. Like, okay, I need that third book. Did Podolak equip the rune ring that you could buy there? Oh, another copy of the second book! No! We found 2 copies! Wait, was that the third copy of the blue book? Or one? I've done a couple of these commentaries today, so I could be confused. So the Forbidden Area is one very long check here. And Jupiter decides it's not worth it. Podolak is now going to do the fight. Knows what 3 souls we need. Yeah, it doesn't look like we have a rune ring on, but Graham still gave a very favorable first 2 teleports. Already in phase 2 of the first fight here. Going to go ahead and put on Archdemon. Going to put on Viewer and Red Minotaur. Now, let's see if Podolak knows. Yeah, look at that Red Minotaur doing 500 damage. It's a strong soul. And with Archdemon, you just basically, oh, hey, I got all my magic back. So now Soma is Dracula, by the way. Spoiler alert. And so now, in order to finish off Graham, you now have to fight this giant demon thing. Yep, no, Jupiter found that the second copy of book 1. That has to be so frustrating. You find 4 books and it's just 2 copies of 2 books. Now Jupiter's trying to figure out what did I skip? Oh, it is Hammer selling the book. Maybe Hammer's selling the book. Podolak, you have Red Minotaur, man. Oh well, doesn't matter. Graham's dead. Alright, so Jupiter... Where's Jupiter going now? Oh, I think Podolak found Muramasa, which is awesome. That was probably behind Graham. Podolak is now racing to where Belmont is. Now, JupiterClimb is really confused, does not know what he orphaned. And Podolak is now on to the second of the final bosses. Oh, now Jupiter's going to the bottom right of the map. We, the viewer and chat, knows Jupiter has everything he needs to beat the game. So yeah, Belmont, very tough fight, but with Manticore, as you see, you know, deals a decent amount of damage. You can get a few hits in. And if Belmont says to you with Arcdemon, you're like, hey, I can charge you some more. However, there we go. We got another multi-hit there. Doing about 272 with a successful charge. Gotta be careful with their health. You want to get hit so you can have magic, but you don't want to take too much damage. Ooh, big hit there. Podolak is doing a decent amount here. We'll soon enter phase 2 of Belmont. You'll know we're in phase 2 when he does his Grand Cross attack. And there it is. Now Belmont's like, hey, I can now use weapons against you. And we're like, oh. New Podolak taking a few nasty hits there. Now, is Jupiter going to Clock Tower? Because that's where Jupiter needs to go in order to, Yep, Clock Tower. So the final book is in the clock, the little pendulum room. And this is actually a very close location to that. Now, on the plus side, you can also backtrack to Warp Point to get back to the top floor right after this. Nope. Podolak has finished Belmont. Is now onto the Chaotic Realm, the final area of the game. Jupiter finds the book. Realizes, hey, I have this already. And now is in go mode. There is 3 items you can still find in the Chaotic Realm. All optional, but you might be able to find yourself, you know, a cleave or another super potion. Jupiter has an entire Graham and Julius fight to go to. But Chaos is the great equalizer. Multiple times in this tournament, Chaos has been the roadblock that has caused runners to forfeit. So this is still anyone's game. JupiterClimb is also a few levels higher, which means it can take a few more hits and do a little bit more damage. Podolak is, level 15 is okay. It's not the lowest we've seen here on SpeedGaming. But if there's ever a situation where it just goes out to outright DPS between these two, Jupiter is going to win. There's a sword there. Podolak says, I don't need that sword. Then proceeds to hit a few spikes. It happens. Alright, I guess we really want to see the Oscafune then. Might help during the Chaos fight. Jupiter's already on phase 2 of Graham. Gotta make sure you have the souls equipped before you do the final hit. And he does. Podolak is now at Chaos. First phase of Chaos, all your souls get split into these 3 statues. So you won't be able to use any of your abilities until you crush the statues, but with the Muramasa, you can do up to 3 hits per strike. So that's about 240 damage if you do get all 3 hits in per strike. So you can get some quick kills off these guys. Jupiter is now on their way to Graham. So Jupiter is going to have to race to Clock Tower. Podolak has the blue statue down. And the red statue. The last statue does no damage. It just drains your magic bar, and that form of chaos is down. Now we're going to see the core of chaos. The core of chaos has 3,000 hit points, which if you see the damage number so far, you might be like, so what? However, it has high defense. There's 4 eyes on the corners of this map. Basically, each eye, when you destroy them, lowers the defense of the core, letting you do more damage. While this goes on, there's like 5 things happening at once. There's these little green sparkly balls that if they hit you, will cause you to blow up. So you don't want to be hit by them. At the same time, the core will either shoot out spikes or more of these little balls. Oop! And there's the wombo combo. Better get that super potion in. Take a lot of damage. I will be using the Red Minotaur right now. Red Minotaur will probably be doing about 500 damage to these eyeballs now. It's a very strong soul. You see right now with 2 eyes down, 1 hit does 7 damage to the core. Looks like we got a little bit more wombo. Alright, that's the 3rd eye down. Now we're down to 13 damage a hit. Using, okay, Mancore will let you do 300, so about 10 of these would finish this off. And we have like a whole bunch of mana prisms. JupiterClimb is doing more DPS to Julius, but as long as Podola does not let themselves get womboed here by all the things that can happen. Oh, we get fireballed there. Oh, Jupiter had a really quick Julius fight and is already in the Chaotic Realm. A death here will equal things out, though. And it doesn't happen. Podolak will finish in first place with a time of 57 minutes and 12 seconds to get your GGs in chat for Podolak boys. Jupiter just now has to get through the Chaotic Realm. Jupiter will be facing Fuse, hopefully to later on today. Go ahead and mark him as done. Let's see if they want to come in here for an interview. While that's going on, Jupiter is now a handful of rooms away from their Chaos fight. Being a higher level, and hopefully using Red Minotaur, this should be a much quicker fight. But we'll see how this goes. Podolak is declining interview. And Jupiter did say beforehand they will also be declining interview. Yeah, so you could already see he's doing about 300 damage with the Muramasa as opposed to the 240. Yeah, just the saves coming on Clock Tower was the big story of this race here. Nice quick Chaos 1 though. Again, we're back to the core. And it looks like we're just going to do mana core strats again. And I think JupiterClimb is the level that is just going to be a 2-core fight. Yeah, well, doing less DPS than Podolak did, but it's still going to be about the same amount of charges. And the rune rings are going to help out a little bit. Oh, don't get womboed there. Oh, get your GGs. That was close. That was the last bit of magic. And Jupiter finished with a 1 hour and 29 seconds. GG to Jupiter. So close race, Jupiter will go on to face Fuse in the losers final. So if you thought this race was very close, very fun, you're going to hope for a Jupiter win there so we can have a salty run back in the finals. I don't have the schedule pulled up right now, so I don't know what's coming up next. Both runners have declined an interview. Thank you for watching this race. Stay tuned for more great SG Live action. We're getting close to all the finals. 14 finals. That's just crazy. That doesn't happen in a normal week. Yeah, so stay tuned for more. Stay tuned. Keep an eye out on the marathon. Don't forget you can donate to help the prize pool for this tournament grow for next year. I think we're up to $22 right now. If you guys want to see more, we do need more runners of this game. It's a nice, quick, easy to learn randomizer. So, I'm sure the Discord invite's out there somewhere. And yeah, I've been Kachiri. And don't forget to follow the runners. And I hope you guys have a great day.